All right, welcome back to your Wiley Manager Crash Course, where we do a bit of a shortened version of our full-length podcast. Now, this week, Bob, we talked about managing those with less experience than yourself.
Yeah, we did, and this has come about as some of our experience being out there with people, and they've suddenly come to the realization that everybody in their whole workforce is over 50 or under 30.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we've got a big gap of 30 and 40-somethings.
So how did we get there?
Well, it has, World War II had a big influence right across the world, and as it turns out, that inspired a huge baby boom. Mm-hmm. That was followed by a baby bust, that nobody was born between sort of the mid-60s and the early 80s, and then a second baby boom, right? So this conspiring with the fact that we fired all our middle managers in the 1990s means that we've got this huge gap now where everybody in businesses are getting ready to retire, or they just got out of school.
Oh, all right. So,
yes.
And then we had 3 ideas in terms of dealing with this particular problem that you shared on this week's podcast.
Right. So normally organizations, when we bring this to their attention, they agree and then they say, yeah, that's a real drag. Now let's talk about what's next. So they're just hoping that it kind of goes away and that a big, busload full of skilled engineers are going to show up at their front gate, which doesn't happen all that often.
Hope is not a strategy, Bob.
Hope is not a strategy. So we're suggesting there's 3 things you need to do. The first one is you need to build a talent projection. So you need to understand exactly what the nature of your problem is. And this can be as easy as looking out on the shop floor, your proverbial shop floor wherever you work, and counting the amount of gray hair you have. Right?
Yeah.
So how many people am I going to lose? What's my normal attrition rate? And try to figure it out. Combine that with how much growth you think you're going to see in your business, and there is your problem, right? So you can say, okay, well, I got, if you've got skilled people you're looking at, then I'm going to be short 7 or 10 or whatever the number is of these people within the next 3 or 4 years, and then at least you have some idea what you're up against.
All right. And the second thing we talked about?
Second one is to quit hoping that the busload of skilled people is going to show up at the front gate and actually build the skills of those people internally. You have no choice anymore, right? So where we used to have an argument about whether you hire for skill or you build it,
yep.
You don't have that. There's not an option anymore, right? You have to build skill internally. So I'm suggesting that organizations and even people as individual managers need to become individual skill building machines.
The capability building machine.
You betcha.
And the third one we chatted about.
And it's really just about, we talk about when you're building skills, training is one way to get there, but there's a variety of other methods too that we talk about in the full-length podcast. The most important of which is that as a leader, you need to be a coach. Okay, you need to be imparting what you know to other people. You need to get your highly skilled 50-somethings to impart some of that skill to your 20 and 30-somethings, so that when they walk out the door, that the skills don't go with them. So you need to insist that people be coaches.
So as a leader, you need to be a coach, and as a senior leader, you need to insist that your leaders are, in fact, this is the core responsibility of their jobs.
Yep, and you need to give them the skills to be coaches, and you also have to hire, promote, and develop for that. So,
all right, cool. Well, if you are interested in hearing more about that conversation, you can pick the full-length version of the podcast up off of iTunes. Yep. Alternatively, you can also get that directly from our website, wileymanager.com.
Right on. We'll see you soon, Jed.
Thanks, Bob.